Hi everybody, my name is Vanessa. I'm the founder of Chakrubs, and I wanted to talk to you about vaginal mapping. We wrote a blog about this, so there's more in-depth information about it there, but I wanted to give you my experience and hopefully inspire you to try this on your own, because I do find it's a really valuable experience to have. Basically, what vaginal mapping is it's gaining a understanding of your inner body. So for me, I realize that I tend to favor my right side over my left side. And vaginal mapping has allowed me to kind of understand why, or start to acknowledge that I've been ignoring that certain part of myself. So vaginal mapping is different than masturbation because it's not about self-pleasuring, though you could absolutely be pleasured from this practice. It's really about gaining a better understanding of yourself. So for me, I started this practice with getting into my bathtub. I felt like that was a really good place for me to try this because I feel really relaxed in my bath, and it's warm, so it's already relaxing my muscles and everything. So it was just a really good place for me, but you can do it on your bed or anything like that. The bath also allows the water to be a lubricant. So if you don't do it in the bathtub, because this isn't really for self-pleasure, you might not have a natural lubricant being produced by your body, so you might want to work with a lube of your choice for this practice. So for me, I sat into the bathtub, I had my Chakrub nearby. The first time I did it, I used the slim Chakrub, but I do find that this curved model is really good because you'll see that we want to be able to reach all the walls inside of us. So because of this curve, it really lets you do that. But you could use the slim, you could use the original, anything. Chakrubs are really great to do this practice with because they are really hard, so they give you that kind of deep massage that is really beneficial when you do find those points of tension within your body. So I allowed myself to relax in the bathtub. I had my Chakrub nearby. I inserted it, and as you'll see, you could read in the blog, we're looking at the inside of our bodies like a clock. So we start at the front wall, which is 12, and then 3, 6, 9. So we start at 12, we apply pressure, we breathe in to that area, and we just take notice of whatever sensations are coming up. So that part it didn't really have tension, it didn't really have pleasure, it just felt like a normal muscle, like giving some attention to that muscle. And I moved to 3 o'clock. That's usually where I feel more pleasurable sensation. So I breathed into that area. I moved to 6 o'clock, same thing, and you could spend time in each of these areas just taking note of different sensations, tingles, thoughts, feelings that come up. Now when I reached 9 o'clock, that's a part of myself that I usually ignore. So I felt tension in that area. And I also felt discomfort. So of course, you have to listen to your body. Don't push yourself too much. You have to grant yourself consent. Allow yourself to explore these areas just as much as you feel comfortable exploring them. So for me, I did feel discomfort. I felt tension, and it was a really cathartic experience for me because I was using my Chakrub, and as a creator, of course, I've been using my products since I started this business in 2011. So when I have discomfort or pain in my body, I believe that it's trying to tell me a message. So what I do is I telepathically pose a question to that area of discomfort, and I say, what are you trying to tell me? So I telepathically say that to my pain, because I believe that pain brings a message. And even if you try this, you don't necessarily hear like, this is the message that I'm trying to tell you, your pain talking back to you. I think that just opening up that channel of communication allows you to receive information in many forms, days following or anything like that. But I think that's a helpful tool to see your pain or discomfort as a messenger to something that you need to acknowledge. So I did that when I felt this discomfort. And again, I'm pressing into that area with my chakra, and I'm breathing, and I'm asking it, what message do you have for me? And the message that I got was really interesting. Again, as the creator of Chakrubs, I've been using my own products for so many years, and the message that I received was, I haven't touched that spot with my own hands in so long. So I realized that I haven't actually felt inside of my body with my own fingers in years. So it was a very enlightening moment, because as Chakrubs has developed, I have used Chakrubs to get to know myself better, and it's done so many beautiful things for me with releasing shame around sexuality and masturbation and pleasure, and helping me strengthen boundaries and everything. But I hadn't put my own fingers into my body in so long, and I felt that that was something that I needed to do in this moment. That is what my discomfort was telling me. It needed attention. So I lovingly removed my chakra, and I placed my chakra on my heart. As I inserted actually put my thumb inside, and had this kind of a pressure with my thumb on that side of my body while I was squeezing kind of my thigh area on the outside, and I really gave it a massage. And I was feeling inside of myself with my own hands, and I was rubbing it and just getting out certain tension in my body, and really just bringing focus to that area that I've so often ignored. And it was really awesome. It just felt, again, it wasn't like a pleasure, it wasn't like a sexual pleasure, it was just like I had a sore muscle that needed to be rubbed down, and that's what I was doing. And I allowed myself to do this practice. This whole practice for me took about 30 minutes. And when I was done massaging it, I closed my practice with some deep breathing and just, thinking about what I had experienced, visualizing the inside of myself and what areas felt like what, because that's what the map is. It's just understanding the different areas and points inside of yourself. And when I released my fingers, I actually also released some blood. It was basically the start of my period, but it was a few days beforehand, and I felt like I was releasing some stuck blood in there, which was an interesting thing to have happen, because of course I was physically releasing something, but it felt like an emotional release simultaneously. So like I said, I was in the tub, so I saw this little bit of blood come out, and it felt like I had released something that was stuck there for a very long time. So yeah, that was my experience, and I think it's a really good practice for anybody with a vagina to try. And you don't have to have a Chakrub to do this, of course. Chakrubs are really great for this practice because you have that extra layer of that emotional support system with you, because it's made out of crystal. So for me, it was something emotional. I felt like I needed to give my body this attention. The Chakrub helped me realize that I needed to not use a Chakrub sometimes. And so because it's made out of crystal, it's, you know, you're imbuing that area with that loving attention that it deserves, that it's asking you for. And on a physical note, it gives you that really strong, deep massage. Of course, you control the amount of pressure. I liked a lot of pressure. I could handle deep massage, even, you know, when I go to a massage therapist, I like just getting to the root of the pain and really working it out. So I really did apply a lot of pressure. But again, you have to do what feels right for you. And please let us know if you try this practice at home. Leave a comment, reach out to us if you have any questions. I think that it's so worth it to just give it a try. And you can really go with what feels right for you and discover along the way what works, what doesn't, and let me know, because I'd like to know. I felt like this was a really beneficial practice for me, and so I hope it is for you too.